Welcome back everyone for another exciting console, the PS1. What we are going to do is plug this in and I'll show you what's wrong with it. So our power is in there. We don't have anything in here, but that part doesn't really matter. And then we turn that on and there's nothing. Don't have any LED or anything signifying any power. So somewhere from the power to here, nothing is happening. So I'll go ahead and unplug that. Now this system has already been cleaned pretty thoroughly. So a lot of the cleaning process that we do on a lot of these systems, we don't really have to do on this one. So flip it over, there are 5 screws on the back. And before anyone in the comments say there should be 6 screws, yes there should be. But someone at some point, I'm guessing, took this apart because that 6th screw is missing. But normally there would be one under there. So then the fun part of just undoing these screws on the bottom. Now this version of the original PlayStation is actually pretty cool. There is a screen attachment that you can get for it. So in a way, this was the original PlayStation Portable. Okay, and then with those screws undone, I'll flip it back over onto this side and then just lift up to the nice clean system. Now the power comes in back here. So we're going to have to be able to get to the board under that. So we'll start by getting our little tape here lifted up. Just get something under there, get that lifted up nicely. Trying to not damage that too much, just so it can go right back down. Okay, we got that up. And then undo this little cable here. Pull that one up. And then this has a piece of plastic that sticks up here. You just want to grab that and lift it up. There we go. Got those big meat hooks down in there. And then at this point, just kind of grab the side of the CD laser assembly and lift it up. And set it somewhere to the side that's nice and clean. Then we want to get the metal tray out of here. There are no screws anywhere in here, so you can just kind of lift that up out of there. And then set that somewhere safe. Then what we'll do is back here on the spot where the video cable attaches and where the power is, we'll just lift those up to get them over these things on here, all these little parts, and then kind of move this backwards. And there we go. Got that. Put the bottom of the case to the side. Let's take a look at the bottom of this. Here is the power. This might be somewhat simple. Just taking a look at this piece here. This actually kind of cracked out of there. Have it up here on a little stand so it's a little easier to see this. So this part right here, it just kind of wiggles back and forth. Not even connected on there. So we'll reflow the solder on all 3 of these pieces and I'll actually add a little more to it. And then from everything else on the board, everything else is looking pretty good on here. So that'll be nice if that's all it is just reflowing some solder. So I'll get all this stuff set up and then time for some fun. Protective gear, the fan is in place. It's going to get a little bit of noise in here when I turn the fan on. Shouldn't be too bad though. Since there is not much solder on there at all, I'm just going to start adding some more. There we go. Starting to melt that around there. Get a nice glob of it filling this up on here just to make sure that the connection is in place. And then just because the other ones don't have much solder on them, get some more added to those too. Just try to prevent something like this from happening to the other ones. That looks good. And then a nice glob of it on here. There we go. So then all 3 of those have that. Then we'll flip this back over and got the power adapter plugged back in. And go ahead and plug that in there and then see what happens. We're just going to look to see if our LED turns on. And it is not turning on. So it wasn't as simple as just taking care of that. So then our next trick, we're going to find out where the power is stopping. We have our trusty little multimeter. Going to set it to the 20 volt setting on there. And first make sure that we actually have power coming in here. We'll go ahead and just touch right here on that and then see if any of these are bringing in any voltage. None of them are. So I'm going to try the other power supply. I did test this system with the other power supply that I have, and it did not work, which would have been from that needing to be redone on there, but maybe that power supply is also bad. Okay, I have the power supply from my personal PS1. Let's see if there are any different results. First, we'll try this way. Get it plugged in on here and try the power. Hey, okay, so that works. So then the power supply and the little power terminal thing were both bad for this one. But we're not done with this yet. Going to get it all put back together, and then we're actually going to test it out. That's some nice extra clicking this thing has. So we'll get all this moved out of the way. Take our bottom shell. Then we're going to take the board and kind of feed in the controller ports, and then everything slides on down. There we go. You have to make sure to kind of push it down. Otherwise, it doesn't always want to just kind of set down in the bottom because all these little metal clips over here. And then we'll lay the top cover on here. Kind of have to pull back a little bit over here to make sure that it clips in place on there. And then the disc assembly. Get it lined up on these 3 little posts here. And then take this plastic part, feed the ribbon cable back down into here, and then hook this cable back down. It just snaps right back in place. And then there should be enough stickiness left on this tape here. There we go. And then all that's left is getting the top shell put back in place. Then we get to flip it over and put in those screws. I think I found the right container. We actually have a parts one of these systems too. One that got a bit too rusted. But we had the screws for it, so may as well add the 6th screw in here that should be in here. Oh no, just voided the warranty. There we go. So then I'm going to get power hooked up and video plugged in. Get a PS1 controller plugged in. Eject that, and Mega Man 8. Who doesn't like a Mega Man game? I just found a random memory card. I'll just plop that in there and see what's on it. We have our screen going, and might help if I plug in the power brick. There we go. Now to turn this beast on. We have the LED, but do we have everything else? There's sound and video. Turn the volume on this TV down a bit just so I'm not causing double sound here. Capcom. Looks like it is reading the disc. Make sure all the controller buttons are working on here. Ready. I can jump, I can slide, I can shoot stuff. And do whatever that is with the R1 and L1. And I will have to get a new power supply for this, but I think we can call this system good now. But we will check one more thing on here just to be sure. Checked the disk. I do just want to make sure that it does read the memory card. As long as you have no disk in there, it will just go to the memory card player. Okay, it does look like it has things on there. WCW Nitro, PGA Tour, Crash Bandicoot 3. Well, that's exciting. That's all it was to get that working. Just reflowing some solder, adding a little extra, and then using a different power supply. So also have to buy a new power supply for it, and then this is going to make a great Christmas gift for my nephew. He's into all the different Persona games and just got Persona for the PlayStation, so he'll enjoy being able to play it. So if you enjoyed this or found it helpful, then let me know in the comments. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, then make sure to subscribe if you have not. Cleaning whatever this stuff is off this controller. There are going to be some exciting videos coming up. I will give a spoiler to one of the things. I'm going to be getting this beast all fixed up. But as far as this one goes, I want to thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Thanks for watching our show today. We hope you smiled along the way. From pixel dreams to jokes we play. Like and subscribe, it's the thing to do. Join the crew, red, white, and blue. Gumtendo's here for you.